Alright, good morning everybody. I forgot to clear off my phone, so I only have 20 minutes. Uh, let's see how well this works, alright? So I'll be going back and forth because I have, the numbers, I guess, up here. How did your first week of Preptober go? I didn't do anything this weekend. I went to go and see my sister and went to go and see some friends and people I didn't think that I was gonna see. I'm also watching all of the vehicles pass by. There was like two vehicles and a UPS truck. UPS truck isn't for me. So anyway, I decided for Preptober I was going to work on, instead of Violent Blue, because there's just so much with that, and it doesn't work out with like it's not a I'm all for I'm all for doing something in a different genre, but right now I kind of want to stick to like the same thing that I'm doing. So I have People's Princess, which is a young adult kind of fantasy thing, and then the I don't know what to call it yet, so it's just kind of like a Fern Gully story, just because the guy um like the guy goes in and gets not really saved by the fairy princess, but he goes in, something bad happens, and of course he gets shoved into the fairy realm, and because of his job, basically he's told that, you need to stop. This is ridiculous. You're kind of hurting us. The people that you're working for aren't that good. There are so many other things that you could do with your life. That kind of thing. So I am I should have brushed my teeth. I didn't think about it. It's horrible. The things that you learn while you're watching, another human. So I have on here, I'm using forthewords.com. If you go to, I've got a link down below. If you go to NaNoWriMo, they're doing like it's 30 days free and you get some extra stuff too. So if you go to the NaNoWriMo website, there is a code, and it's a really fun, like it's really fun to do. You can go in and you defeat, like, you have quests, and those quests are like defeat 3 of these monsters. Well, one of the monsters is either type your heart out for like 15 minutes and however many words you get is, equals damage, or you have something that is like 150 words and 5 minutes, just as an example. So you've got a lot of things on there that you can do. You can defeat the monsters, you can do the quests. It's just another added fun thing that will help you type. So I am so much better at I guess outlining. I'm so much better outlining on on paper, but I decided to try to do it on the computer, and I mean, it's just the computer is easier because while I can get thoughts out faster on paper, faster doesn't usually mean legible, because I'm left-handed and I write really quick and I don't write nice. So, yeah. But I have 1,488 words for just thoughts for the story so far. I'm working on. I've gotten past like the first part. Basically, what I do is I take the big ideas, the big things that I want to happen, that I know have to happen, and right now I'm still working through it because as of today it's the 7th. We've only been in October for 7 days, so I'm not too worried about it. But this is nice because I can put stuff in order. Excuse me. I can put stuff in order, but if I want to, like, if I get a random thought, then I can put it like over here. and then I can move it later instead of like drawing an arrow in a book. So I've got that. Um, Basically, my main character works for a big corporation that is taking down just empty buildings. Right now, it's just empty buildings, but the the people that he works for just aren't good. They give off a bad vibe because, it's a bigger corporation, all they want is money. So, because of that, you know how some people can walk into a room and they sense that there's something bad happening? Yeah, it's that sort of thing. They just give off really bad vibes. And this guy he works for him because he works for them. Everybody needs money to, live, whatever. Anyway, so he's starting to he goes through a building one last time because he's the guy who demos the buildings. So I kind of have to look that up to figure out. I know obviously about how that works. You set up the stuff, you make sure that it's going to implode nicely instead of the other way. Um but him and his crew are going through one last time. Due to some past things, he gets jump scared, and it doesn't help that we're all playing Phasmophobia right now, which is a game where you like go after ghosts and you get jump scared because they kind of just appear. Anyway, but due to some past issues, he gets jump scared and basically runs into a closet. Now keep in mind, this dude is like, he's not a teenager, he's an adult, he's got a good job, he's probably like late 20s, early 30s. He's doing really well for himself. Because he does demo, he takes pretty good care of his body. So it's not like some 13-year-old jump scared boy. Just it's stuff that happened in his past. It somehow triggers like that part of his brain. And he hides in one of they're breaking down an apartment or something like that. Just an abandoned apartment they're going through and checking stuff, and he basically hears this thing, runs into a closet and hides. And I'm trying to work out, because there's some things that happen in there, and I have to work out like how he remembers some past stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm realizing that the way that I'm writing is tapping into um not really things that are happening with a friend of mine, but just the psychology of a friend of mine, because he read it and went, I didn't tell you any of that. So, or he said something like, this is kind of similar, but not really to stuff that I went through. And I'm like, okay, that's crazy, but whatever. I was trying to bounce off ideas while I was visiting some friends. Um, so yeah, my main character goes through and he falls into the fairy realm. So because he's the one who's been demoing, bigger parts of the whole city. And because of that, he's getting some ruckus from the fairy community because those are buildings that have been around for a while. They've got structure, they've got hard bones, that kind of thing. Not real bones, or they might have, who knows. So anyway, he's going through there and he falls into the fairy realm, and things kind of ensue from there. And I have a lot of I've kind of gotten to that part. I realize that it's only 1,500 words. It's not that bad so far, but yeah, I've got a lot of thought. I need to look up the whole Fae community, because he falls into a community of fairies. Like they're living in their own little world. You have like, okay, so you have Earth, and then you have different sort of realms or planes or whatever, and the fairy realm it looks a lot like, and I'm gonna give this away too, the fairy realm looks a lot like the human realm, only fairy structure. So instead of a house like this, you have a fairy house. that's in its place, but in the same wrong, not the right dimension, but the same place, if that makes sense. So, like him and my main character and the person that he's walking around with, basically he knows the layout of their city because it's the exact same city that he lives in, just Earth, not the fairy realm, if that makes any sense. So I'm really excited about this. I didn't do anything this weekend. I edited a little bit of this. I put little tabs on here so that I knew that, that's where I had to stop. Um, I didn't get very far because I was working on it at night while my daughter was sleeping in the same room. But basically, what I'm doing is, because there are 47 chapters, it's not that bad. I'm breaking it up in, like, as you can see, it was like thicker, but that's because I use 12-point font for the whole thing because I'm an idiot. I wasn't thinking. But it's it's coming along pretty well. Um, so yeah, that was my little update. I don't really have a whole lot. I know that I can get more stuff done during the week than I can on the weekends. And especially during the day whenever my daughter isn't home, as opposed to later at night whenever I'm playing games with friends. Or if I have a friend of mine who's playing games, then I can edit or something like that depending on what's going on. Also, I have stuff for cards. That was the other thing for this month, is that I'm going to be working on end of the year cards. Normally I would say Christmas cards, but the thing is that there are friends that I have that don't celebrate Christmas. My throat's dry. It happens. Anyway, yeah, there are friends that I have that don't celebrate Christmas. So, the company that I use for dyes, I also have a whole lot of stamps. Like I use Lawn Fawn. I have a ton of Lawn Fawn stamps, but I also use these people. Oh, don't do that. Just like work with me here. Thank you. But yeah, I like this brand too. This is the Gemini brand. I have their paper thing. I have a lot of their stuff too. But basically it's like little things like this. So I've got a couple of different ones, and I'm really excited to also make like maybe one or two cards during this month every day so that I don't get behind and then the middle of November happens and I'm scrambling while I'm trying to write. I don't plan on really. I won NaNoWriMo last year, but did I really win? I don't think that I did. I got past 50K, which was awesome, and then ugh, I haven't even read it. I haven't touched it. I haven't anything. I realized that at that point it wasn't a dumpster fire, but boy, it was smoking. Like I said, I realized that I had missed something in the first book, which is why I'm editing the first one. Yeah. So that is my update for this week, and I did it under 20 minutes, which is awesome for you and for me. So I also didn't yawn. Of course, now I will at some point. So anyway, yeah, that's my update. How did you guys do? Do you have like weekly, daily goals? Are you doing okay? um Both, in Preptober and in life, are you doing okay? Uh I'm really excited to work more on the Fern Gully story and get it done because it's been in my head for quite some time, and I realized that I have, ooh, this is going to sound bad. I have some untapped potential that I didn't know that I had. So, kind of excited about that. And yeah, that's about it. I hope that you guys enjoyed your week. I think what I'm going to do next week, if I can actually like muster up the whatever to show you guys cards that I'm making for the end of the year, I might do that too. We'll see how it goes. No promises. So, I will be back next week with another update. I hope you guys have an awesome week and you do all the goals and do all the things and get restful sleep and find peace. Sorry, I had an ADD butterfly. What was it? Dana Golan in her in her writing stream yesterday had mentioned that if you're feeling a little bit frazzled, and somebody else had told her this, but if you're feeling a little bit frazzled and you're kind of a nature human, because I know that some people aren't, go take your shoes off. And it's nice and, if it's nice and warm out, if it's snowy and nasty outside, please don't do this because, toes. But go outside, face north, and take your shoes off and just stand there in the quiet, or as much quiet as there is out there, for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes a day, hopefully during the day, so that you can become a human flower, soak up some sun, and see how that works for you. It might take a couple of weeks, it might take a couple of days, but just be good to yourself, because I mean, depending on where you live, everything's been a mess. So just remember that goals can be softened and moved, and while NaNoWriMo and Preptober are very important to some people, it doesn't have to be the top of the list. I'm not saying that you keep giving up on goals, but it doesn't have to be the top of the list. Don't be too hard on yourself if you set a goal and it doesn't happen. Just adjust and move forward. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I hope that you guys have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Bye.